As part of the discussion this evening regarding the ILP, we want to talk a little bit about the part of it that is called the Annotated Bibliographic Review, the Annotated Bibliography.
Let me start out by asking you, why is it that we have students do an annotated bibliography as part of their ILP?
Well, that is a question that I'm sure many people who are watching this tonight are asking. I think it serves several functions. I think the most important one is that what I've seen so far from students is that they are able to investigate a topic that they're interested in, a very specific or maybe a little bit broader topic regarding some aspect of leadership or related topic, whatever. And they are able to investigate that and research it and gain more insight into it because it goes beyond the context of what we're able to do in the program. So they're able to write that up, they're able to do the review, they're able to make that part of their ILP. And I have seen many individuals, when they get to the end of the program, complete the ILP, give their final oral presentation, reference the annotated bibliography as something that contributed to their understanding of organizational leadership.
So it allows them to identify and claim an area of real expertise.
Yes.
To go deep into an area, to research an area more thoroughly than they may have at some other point throughout the program.
That's right. Like, for instance, a topic like gender. There may be people that are interested in looking at issues of gender when it comes to leadership. And so this is an opportunity to look at that topic in some detail, and by doing that, become expert, become more knowledgeable in terms of that area. So I think that's to me that's the best value of it.
And isn't another reason why we do it is we've got a graduate program going here. One of the expectations of grad programs is that students develop a certain, certain skill in researchability. So the annotated bibliography is designed to give students practice going deeper with a topic, looking for, finding, digging deeper into the available research literature.
I think it's part of the academic credibility of the program. And you want to come out of a graduate program, regardless of the nature of it, with some aptitude when it comes to doing research, using various tools, library, and of course otherwise now today with internet access, but being able to access that stuff to do this sort of research. There are a lot of resources that you can look at to get ideas. One is in the ILP manual, and by the way, we're going to be referencing that. There it is. You can see it in green and white.
Everyone's got one.
Everyone's got one. And there is a page on there, Don, if you want to turn to that. There's actually a list of some topics that are that actually students in the program have worked on.
That's right.
Maybe you could mention some of those. There's a whole bunch right there.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Many of the things we've already talked about are highlighted in your ILP manual, of course, and there is a page that has two handy lists. One is a list of topics that other students in the program have identified: diversity in leadership, teamwork in leadership, servant leadership. Let's see here, some other good ones. Participative decision-making in leadership, executive coaching, African-American leadership, dozens and dozens of different topics that students have chosen as a particular focus.
Now, how do you get to this point? Which is what the question that you asked.
Yeah, I think you get to this point by trying to, it may be by recognizing your own industry or organizational domain and recognizing that, hey, there is some focus that, that if I gained real expertise in that, it would be a great asset to me professionally.
Yeah.
So we want people to choose a topic focus that's going to benefit them professionally, personally, in the long run.
Sure.
It may be that as working through some of the courses that there is a topic that a student doesn't know a whole lot about, but they are deeply interested in. All the better, since you're going to be with this annotated bibliography for a while, to choose something you're very interested in, even passionate about.
And what you're going to be doing is you're going to start talking to your mentor about this topic, but towards the end of the first term. And at the beginning of the second term, when you start in the motivation course, you should have this sort of dialogue with your mentor. Whether your mentor is teaching motivation or not, you want to have that contact and say, this is what I'm thinking about. And you begin to sort of negotiate the fact that, okay, this is a topic that looks pretty good. Here's how you can restrict it a little bit, because sometimes topics can be too broad, and you'll get killed, trying to determine
and
how
that's
you
the
focus
thing I've discovered most in mentoring, is that students will identify a fairly broad topic, or one that or they'll choose a course topic that we address. So they'll say, well, my topic is motivation, or it is organizational change. And we want students to focus more and go a little bit deeper. Rather than identifying a broad field, identify some aspect of the field where you can really feel like you have, by identifying 30 pieces of literature, where you really feel like you've gained some mastery of that topic.
And it's always the balance between being too focused, too narrow, and not being able to access resources. Sometimes that can be, it's so specialized a topic, it's a tough job finding the resources. The other side of that is again, being so broad that you have to take a machete with you into the library and start chopping through.
So I begin to develop a topic, I consult with my mentor, I begin an initial search process where I begin to try to identify some literature, and I remember to piggyback off the bibliographies of other resource material that I do identify. So I begin to try to track and collect some material. And even as that process of searching begins, I still may be fine-tuning and focusing my topic selection. So I begin a search, I continue the selection topic focus process, but at some point I hone in on that and choose a topic.
And that needs to be done early in term one, or term two, excuse me, as possible. Because you want enough time to work through the process then at that point of getting the resources, identifying the citations, writing up the bibliographic review, etc.
Okay, so consult, search, select, and then once I've selected, what would the next couple steps be? I've got my topic now.
Now we have to start identifying what's the best literature for this topic to give me the best insight. There's a multitude of resources out there. We're asking you to select a total of 30 different pieces of literature, different citations, different resources. So what we need to do is we really need to talk about the literature.
So an annotated bibliography then is a collection of a brief summary of these 30 sources once they're identified, and we'll have students turn 15 of those sources into their mentor for review at the end of term 2, and another 15 sources late in term 3 for feedback on those sources.